All right, so now I'm going to demonstrate a few putts to show you why we want you to putt at a target rather than at a hole. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a putt that's going to go right through the center of the hole. This will drop in on a normal mat. Okay, so let's just see it here. That's a make, right? It went right in the middle of the hole. Okay. Our system scores at an 80. Why? Because it went flying through that hole, banged into the back, and that leaves us with potentially a miss if we weren't putting straight into the middle. If that was a breaking putt, and we meant to hit it the distance that would stop it right here, we would miss that putt on the high side. It might be a lip out, it might go straight by on the high side because we're faster than the line can take. There's a range that will allow that putt to go into the hole. The more precise you are with your speed, the better the chance you will have of hitting that speed that's going to put it right in the hole. So let me show you the difference here. So if I go down to the bottom here, actually, right here, we've got this dialed in. This should be what we consider a gong, or very near a gong. We'll give it a shot. 96. So a tiny bit long and a tiny bit offline. All right. And you see, in our system, whoops, 97, a little bit offline still. On our system, we're aiming for that putt that's right in the center. There you go. We got the gong. It went right through the center of the cup, died right at the height that we're looking for there. And you'll be amazed. There's nothing that makes you practice as hard as when you're using a chirp that I've ever experienced, that any of our fans have experienced. When you putt, you realize suddenly that this cup is gigantic. I can actually stop the ball inside that range and work my speed accuracy so that when I'm putting, I'm trying to stop the ball in this range. When you putt on a normal putting mat, your minimum is the ball would stop here and die into the hole. That's the minimum on a normal putting mat because that's all you can see, it falls into the hole. Beyond that, you can hit it vastly harder than you can on this system to get a good score because the ball will still go into the hole all the way up to 5 feet per second, which is roughly the height at the speed at which the ball goes flying over the hole and won't actually drop in. That's a massive speed for this short range. When our system's running, that last putt we rolled that was the gong was 1.59 feet per second. And so if you're looking at the one that stops in the middle, the minimum putt probably, let me see what it comes out to if I can do a minimum putt here. There, that one would have just died in, okay? So, and that got an 89 on ours, so it's a good score, it went in, but it didn't give you quite as good as if you'd gone into the middle and had a little more of the cup open. But you can see that was 1.28 feet per second. So if you're a good putter, you're controlling your speed to fractions of a foot per second. And on a normal putting mat, that ball can just be flying into that hole. You might be hitting it 4.5 feet per second, which is 4 times as hard as the speed that you need to drop it in the hole at this distance. And so I'll do it again. You know, when you get good at this on the chirp mat, your ball's going to be in the cup. That was a pretty poor putt. I must have bumped it. But you'll be amazed at how high your accuracy can get and what this really does for you. And our putters, we've had some putters who write to us and say this is the greatest thing they've ever bought because they go on the course and now they know I can hit a wedge in there, and if I get it to 8-10 feet, I'm going to be in the hole or right next to it. I'm always 2-putting. I'm never 3-putting on a reasonable distance. And on top of that, it even makes your lag putting better. In my own experience and from others that I've heard, if I'm 60 feet from the cup, which I'm not the awesomest iron player, that happens. I'm really worried about my lag putt because before I used to feel like I had to get it to 2 feet to know that I was going to make that putt. And so I would get nervous about my lag putt. It would be hard to get it in close enough to do a good job. But now, honestly, I feel like if it's 8 feet after my lag, I got a decent chance of making it. If it's 4 feet or 5 feet, I'm almost 100% sure I'm going to make it. So it lets me relax on my lag putt, concentrate on getting that ball close, but not have to fear that I'm going to leave it a little bit short or hit it a little bit long and get tense about it. I just like, hey, it looks like about 60-footer. I'm going to just try and get up there about 5-6 feet. And if I do, I'm like, oh, great. I got a great chance of making that. And a lot of times I do. So let me just demonstrate one more, see if I can get another gong here. Look at that. Dial it up with my putting cheating stick here. I can do it pretty easily. And what's really amazing, though, is some of our best putters, and we have a leaderboard on our site at chirrp.com, chirrp.com/leaderboard. And you can see the weekly leaders. And on our game, the Daily 30, which is a great practice every day, it helps you practice from different distances, alternating distances randomly so that you have to practice your setup and then execute a putt. We have putters averaging over 94 for a for a single daily 30 session, and that is absolutely amazing. That means every putt they're doing is basically landing somewhere in that red, maybe a little bit into the white, and that's from 3 different distances. That's from 10 putts at 4 feet, 10 putts at 6 feet, and 10 putts at 8 feet, randomly distributed, and they're able to get that level of accuracy. And I'll tell you, they're out there killing their friends on their daily wager because they're draining those putts. So that's the basics of what the Chirrp is. I'm going to run through a few other features of it here real quick, just in case you've never seen it before. Our mat runs at about a 12 on the stimp meter, which is fast. It's Augusta fast. That's probably the first thing people notice about it, but that's because we don't know if you're playing at Augusta. There might be someone who's playing at Augusta this week and wants to warm up for it. We also know that most of us play at a municipal course or a non-private course that has slower greens usually. They tend to run in that 7, 8, 9, 10 range. But we want everyone to have the ability to use it. So the Chirrp comes with a system on the backside, and I can show it to you here. We have 3, 2, 1, and storage, and tee holders. And these tee holders allow you to pull out the tee out of the storage slot and then put it into a space, like the 3rd spot here. And you can see this, it's making a kind of like a tire jack for the whole system. And they press in there, and now my system runs a much higher stimp, or a much lower stimp. So it's much, what do you call it? A much steeper angle, which simulates a much lower stimp. So that this will be more like a municipal course now. It's probably running about an 8, 8.5, maybe a 9. We have a setting you go to when you do that, and I've got another video about that. You go in and you tell the system I've got 2 1/8 inch tees, which is what we issue, and I put them in position 3, and it calculates that stimp right there for you, so that when you go back and use the system, now we'll be putting in, and it'll still know what a 100 is when you go there. I'll demonstrate once. It's going to take me a little bit to figure out where the 100 is, because now it'll be a little harder putt in terms of I'll have to put more force out to get it up that ramp, simulating a slower green. So let's see here. It's probably going to be somewhere about here. Yep, that's pretty good. Not quite. So I got a 95, but you can see it's already, the system's already accounted for the fact that we're at a different slope because I made that change. And so now somewhere up here, oh, there we go. So now, because that was a 99, almost a gong. Before we were putting here, now we're putting it from way back here. I don't know if this is in the camera or not, but is it in the camera? It's a, don't move that one, just to shoot it with this one if you need to. Yeah. I can do it again. Okay, so anyway, you know, now we're putting from somewhere back here to get that same 100 score. Oh, that's beautiful. Another 99, I can't quite get it. Whereas before, we were putting from about right here. On the I don't know, what is that, the 20 inch mark? Yeah, 21. So this is, you know, another 10 inches further, which is a much greater roll speed in order to get up that ramp and score the thing. So you can match the Chirrp to whatever green speed you putt on. Even if you don't have a stimp meter, you can go to your course, putt a little bit, come back home, play with the positions, figure out where it needs to be to match your greens so that you can practice what you need to do and really dial in that speed. You'll never see anything like it. And that's where we've engineered this to focus on those pain points of getting that ball started on line and getting that ball with the right speed. If your speed control can put that ball on the line with the speed that's going to put it through that cup in the correct with the correct velocity to maximize that hole with, you're going to be so much better off than blasting it by. And most putting mats at home, they don't give you that opportunity. You know, and that's the other advantage of Chirrp. You know, you can make constructive practice at home with this. You know, the pros, you know, they were at the course every day. They're going to practice putting the ball in the hole and doing that on the green every day. But most of us can't do that. So the most effective practice is to practice at home, making sure that you can start that ball on line, you can hit the ball with the speed you want, so that when you go to the green, you know, before you go out for your round of 18, you can test your speed, test the line that you've been practicing, see how you correlate it to the greens you're playing on that day, and have success without having to go to the course every day and practice on the green, because you'll know that you can control your speed and the line that you launch it on with an incredible high precision. And just to that end, let me show one other thing here before we sign off. Chirrp also has a stats section, which tells you your average and median and variance. These are very technical, but what it also can show you, which is probably less technical, is your dispersion. And so you can see most of my putts are right in there, but I miss off to the side some and I miss long some. But look at how tight my overall putting is in terms of to the actual target distance. And I'm really keeping that ball in the area where I'm aiming to. If I'm on the course and where I want to putt through the hole, I just know that my 4-footer on here really rolls about 5 feet. So when I'm on the course and I have a 4-footer, I know I'm going to be putting it 10 to 12 inches beyond the hole. So you just make a slight adjustment, you try it out on there, and if you get and calibrate the feel that you've generated on your home mat to the course, and you'll be putting like you never have before. And I really hope you enjoy it. We've had a lot of customers who really love it. They swear by it. We have a couple customers who put more than 1,000 putts a week on their Chirrp, and I guarantee you they are killing it on the course compared to how they were before. Because the fact of the matter is most of us don't practice. We don't have the opportunity to. We don't have constructive ways to practice at home, and that's what Chirrp is about, is giving you the opportunity to get better in the time you have at the place you are, which is at home or at work. That's about it for me for what we're doing today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you have an interest in getting Chirrp and getting better at putting. So enjoy putting, have fun, get better. Thanks a lot.